Welcome, true believers, and it's time for another WandaVision episode review recap. Today's episode was called Breaking the Fourth Wall. Uh, Before I jump right into it, just going to address a couple things. One, please hit that subscription button. Really trying to get to 100 subs, at least before the spring, at least. I do appreciate your time. Two, I understand that a lot of times people don't want to watch longer videos, and this episode was 30 minutes, actually, well, 32 minutes. There's the after credit scene. If you haven't seen it and you're clicking on this, first 30 seconds telling you there's the after credit scene, watch it. I understand that a lot of people don't want to watch longer videos. I'm sorry, I'm trying to give you the detail. So when I recap, I'm throwing in what I believe in at the end. I might give you a little tidbit, but that's just what it is. I apologize. From what I hear, from one of the people who I watch who makes much longer videos than I do, I hear that all of WandaVision is supposed to be 6 hours. I haven't. This is episode 7. I don't think we've reached 6 hours yet. I'm pretty sure if this next episode is just 30 minutes, and the last episode might be an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. It's kind of like the, excuse me, kind of like the anime thing. A lot of times, not anime, in Tokusatsu, the beginning episode is normal. The last episode is sometimes the longest. So bear with me. I'm going to figure out how to break that one up. I might break it up into different videos, but this one, if I go close to 30 minutes, I apologize. I just want to give you the most thorough review possible. And also the review starts off, if you watch Modern Family, you watch The Office, it starts off very much like that. We are now in the modern era of television where it's on Wanda's face, and Wanda doesn't want to get out of bed. Vision is not next to her in bed, and she's remembering, expanding the borders to make sure Vision doesn't die, engulfing that sword camp that was around there, turning them into a circus and everything else. And it turns out the kids are coming upstairs to, you know, say, "Mom, our video game has glitching out," which it literally is. It goes from being I think it's a PlayStation controller to a GameCube controller to Uno cards to an Atari joystick. Actually, it actually jumps back and forth. And Billy, not Billy, Tommy is saying, there's a lot of voices in my head, and she says, "Well, Mommy's just resting her eyes." She's trying to get a grip on this, and you can tell she's trying to figure it all out, and she's saying she's gonna give herself kind of like a quarantine, self isolation punishment. Because when she pulls back the covers, she's still in her Halloween costume. And I wrote down little notes in my phone. The boys are fighting over. And we get a nice little cute scene where the boys are fighting over the remote, and Billy's like, "Well, I got there first," and Tommy says, "You always get there first." He's the guy with the speed powers. I found that funny. Uh, Mom walks past them. Wanda gets some milk. It goes from being the plastic container milk to being a carton of milk to being glass milk like back in the old days. On the carton of milk, funny enough, was a missing child ad because you remember they used to have those on the back of the carton of milk. That is an important thing to pay attention to. Excuse me. And as she pours it, it's so funny. She even smells the milk to make sure the milk's not spoiled. And then we got our intro. And the intro is just various things that spell Wanda. It's like a restaurant that just says Wanda, Wanda this, Wanda that. But something that I noticed that a lot of people reviewing did not pay attention to is that in there was you know how the cutouts, when you cut out each letter from a different magazine? And the cutouts that says, "I know what you are doing, Wanda." You'll miss it, but I paid attention to it because my connection was getting a bit jumpy. Really, really creepy stuff. Meanwhile, at a temporary sword camp, 8 miles out, they're not getting any signal. It's dead air. Haywood is saying, "We're going to attack today." They're going right on in there. And the hexagon is actually more apparent from so far out. You can actually see it. Vision awakens on the inside. The circus is right ahead of him. And Darcy is a failed escape artist. Failed. She wanted to be the bearded lady, but that didn't work out. And Vision says, "I remember you. You were reaching out to me. We had like an understanding kind of connection." And when Darcy thinks he's hitting on her, she just escapes out of the chains, and they're walking around. Uh, we go back to the house where the kids are asking, "Hey, where's Dad?" And Wanda says she doesn't. Well, actually, Wanda asks where's Vision, and they say they don't know. Do you want to go look for him? And she says, well, I can't, you know, make him be there if he doesn't want to be there. And they mention their Uncle P. She says right away, that is not your uncle. They're trying to ask, well, what's going on? He says something about you killing Dad, and she says, I actually don't have any answers for you. And what I think about life is that nothing matters. She goes very nihilistic. She said, "This probably shouldn't have said these to her kids, but she's gone fully nihilistic. You can tell she is just breaking down." And she plops between them to watch TV. Magics the door open, says, "Hey, Agnes." Of course, in walks Agnes. That Agnes, and Agnes offers to take the children. And she says, "Don't worry, kids, I don't bite." To which she admits that she actually bit a kid once. Again, this is very important. Uh, all of it is in that very comedy styling. And one of the things I did mention about the intro is based off of Happy Things, which was a show on ABC. It actually had not Keenan, but Damon Wayans Jr. is actually in that show. Most of the cast on that show went on to do different things during that same era, but that's neither here nor there. Just letting you know. It was also kind of very office modern era, that sit in front of the camera kind of thing. That's what various characters are doing, except for the twins. The twins are not doing that. So, she also takes the children, she takes the kids for her, and houseplant, television, different couches, they're all changing to different eras that we've seen the show go through. Wanda does her magic and turns them all back the same, but she's telling her she's actually telling us that, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong. And I actually feel really, really bad for her. My feelings about Wanda in the comics. I've been saying it this whole time with the mutant thing. I actually feel really bad for the MCU Wanda because she's technically the same age as I am. She's technically 32, 33. She has gone through a lot of loss within the span of that time. Not to mention being technically dead for 5 years. But I digress. Uh, Jimmy Woo actually got Darcy's email before everything went to hell, and Project Cataract, which is a play on Vision because it's cloudy Vision, he wanted to bring Vision back as a weapon. And the only thing that could actually bring him back online was when Wanda took him, which is why he's been focused on Vision and getting Vision back. Uh, we meet Monica's old friend, who was not Nick Fury, unfortunately for me, not anybody related to the Pims, but an old friend of her mother's, old military friend, who says, we're still loyal to Sword, we're still loyal to your mom, so here we brought you this thing. And if you remember in episode, I want to say 4, where Monica was talking about the type of specs on the vehicle she would need to get in there, they made this. And it's basically a space rover with all the specifications that she asked for. Back inside, Vision has to play a trick on Darcy to turn her back to, use his powers to turn her back into who she really is, because she's not listening. She thinks he's hitting on her. One person thinks he's a clown, and she talks to him. She says, "Yes, I wanted to be on the show, but I kind of don't want that. Now that it's happened, it's freaky. We need to get out of here and get to your home." The strong man, which is the same guy that ended up bringing her in, I believe, on episode 3 that we saw, she punches him out. Wonderful moment for Darcy. They take this carny van and they drive out. And Vision does remember when she tells her name is Dr. Darcy Lewis. He remembers from the transmission that he intercepted when they were getting computers in that one episode. All of this is a mixture of, it's still pretty funny. It's humorous and entertaining. Meanwhile, back at the house, Wanda is constantly changing the decor. Like the wallpaper rolls itself up, the lamps and everything changing, the steps going upstairs changing, and things are changing without meaning. At first, I thought that that's why Agnes took the kids so she wouldn't accidentally change them. But if you remember, she didn't have power over them when they were infants to make them stop crying. So, right? Even the stork that brought the kid that was heralding the children came in and dissipated. And she even opened up during the interview saying, "I don't know." She doesn't know why things are falling apart. And the person behind the camera, in a male voice, again, this is support, says, "Do you think you deserve this?" And she says, "You're not supposed to talk." She looks very confused. We get to a commercial where it's about feeling depressed, feeling like the world doesn't revolve around you, blah 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 blah. You should get Nexus. Nexus. Well, Nexus, your doctor will recommend that when you're ready to move on with your life. The side effects are happiness and depression, trying to get rid of your depression. If you don't know anything about the Nexus was mentioned in Thor the Dark World, but the Nexus in comics in general, I'm talking about any comic. The one thing that's springs to my mind is actually Swamp Thing. That's DC. But the Nexus in most comic books is the Nexus of all reality. It is the hub, the circle, where different versions and parallel universes converge. And it's actually a way that people can actually move from one place to another within your modern time. It can actually go through time. It can go through space. A lot of it's how some teleporters actually get around. But I have a feeling that with this commercial, whoever is has this in their mind, they are probably tampering with the nexus of all reality, which in Dark World was revolving around the different nine realms. You know, Nephilim, Asgard. Uh, I used to know all these off the top of my head, but all the things like that, especially the realm of hell. So that is also an important thing to remember. So Agnes is actually taking care of the kids. She gives them, food and drink, and she says, so penny for your thoughts, kiddos. And Tommy says, it's quiet here. Like, I don't hear anything. Like, Agnes, you're pretty quiet on the inside, too. And she kind of looks at the camera, and then she looks at them, and uh, Billy asks, do you think, not Billy, Tommy asks, Tommy says that. Tommy's the psychic one. Billy then says, hey, do you think our mom is okay? She says, yeah, your mom is super mom. And she says, no, Ralph says I sugarcoat things, but how can I tell someone's kids that their mom is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Who, and I wrote this in my notes, who in the heck is Ralph? That is also a thing that might actually come up as well. I'm still trying to meet this Ralph person. The bunny is actually next to them, everything. And then we go back to the outside. Monica's all suited up. She's in this rover. She's ready to get in there, get Darcy and Wanda. Jimmy's wishing her luck. This is a heavily armored space rover by S.H.I.E.L.D. And as she's trying to get through, the barrier is fighting with her. It's like it makes it in, but then the wheels come up on top of it. So it's trying to rewrite the structure excuse me, because that's what it does. At first, it recognized it, and then it tried to change it. Which Jimmy and her family friend were telling her, "You need to get out of there." She gets out, and after getting out, the the barrier gets the vehicle halfway in and spits it out in between the groups that they were trying to go get her. And Monica says, "You know what? I think I can get in there." Takes her helmet off and just makes a beeline. They're trying to stop her, but she gets through. And we get some of the best visual effects I've ever seen. This is supposed to be a TV show. Could have fooled me because it looks amazing. Like she's being ripped apart through different versions of herself throughout time. Not throughout, reality, but throughout time. It's the version of her when she finally became unsnapped. Wonder where her mother is. There's a version of her from the black and white, the version of her from the 70s. There's her and her outfit before they got kicked out by Hayward, and there's the current her in her spacesuit. And we're getting some great dialogue from the Captain Marvel movie when she was younger. You hear Nick Fury, she says, I want to go to space. Well, you can go to space when you start to glow too. And you hear her mother talking to her. Then you hear Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, say, "Your mom got lucky when she got kids. She got the toughest one," and that kind of snaps her focus altogether. Her eyes are blue. She's breaking through this barrier and becomes one again. It's almost like it's a spectrum and versions of herself. Huh? Huh? Yeah, Spectrum is. I told you that's one of her names, one of her old code names. She also went by Photon, which is actually on the side of her mother's jet from the Captain Marvel movie. So she might end up going by that. Anyway, she is now through, and she can see the wavelengths and spectrum of things. She can see the wavelength of the power lines and everything. Her eyes are blue for a moment, but then they go away to their normal brown hue. Takes off her spacesuits and she's bucking it. She's probably trying to go straight to Wanda's house. Meanwhile, Darcy and Vision, they're driving, they're trying to move in as well, and Darcy fills in the holes in Vision's memory. He wants to know why people are saying that Wanda killed him. Technically, Wanda did, but she did so she could save half of the universe. And when he asked if they succeeded, she said no. The bad guy rewound time and killed her, or killed him again in front of her. She had to watch him die twice. And they know she's wondering like, why is there tons of red lights? There's no one out here. And Vision's like, I'm assuming that Wanda's stopping us from getting there. And he's trying to figure out who he is because he says, well, you told me I used to be a computer AI called Jarvis from Stark, but I'm also from made of this. My body and everything is made from this thing that Ultron created. So what exactly am I? And Darcy says, honestly, I don't know. I was kind of hoping you would be able to tell me. And one thing she points out, say, I've been watching WandaVision. That's the name of the show in real life and in the show. I've been watching WandaVision for a week, and I can tell you that the love that you and Wanda have is very much real. He also gets his own moment where he's talking to the camera, and right as they're about to move, there's like the power line people come in to fix things, which Vision looks at the camera knowingly, just he's unamused with what's going on. Monica makes it to Wanda's house. Wanda's furious, like, why are you here? She grabs her with her powers, and she's saying, all of you are liars. I don't trust anybody. I know you guys were trying to kill me. And she goes to slam Monica down. Monica's powers, she does a superhero landing, and it just kind of shocks everyone. They're literally making a scene because there are people out and about. Dottie's doing whatever Dottie people do. There's the postman and everybody else. And she's saying to her, if you want to kill me. Do it. And, Wanda puts her hand down. She said, that's the difference between you and Hayward. You're not actually a villain. And Wanda then ponders and says, but maybe I am. And Monica makes a real connection with Wanda by saying, I know the type of loss you've gone through. When I came back and my whole world had changed, there was nothing I could do about it. I can't rewind time. I can't bring them back. I have to live with that loss. And honestly, that's how we move on. That's how we get better. Well, who sees them have this conversation other than Agnes, who gives this look like, comes right out, says, you need to go, and takes her friend. And Monica's still trying to get Wanda to just change everything back. She's like, no. She does that, just no, I'm not changing anything. Boy, oh boy. So Darcy and Vision are continuously being stalked because this time someone's walking children across, and Vision's like, "Wait, what? Why am I having this conversation with you camera guys?" He takes the microphone, throws it off, and man, this world is so nutty because he's done talking to them, but he's still in the car with Darcy. He just phases through. He's like, "I'm done with this. I'm gonna fly off." I'm pretty sure now that he has decided to move on, Darcy will probably be able to get through as well in the next episode. So Agnes goes to get her a cup of tea, and we get this very, very creepy, almost horror movie like scene where there's the two cups with hexagons on them for the boys. There's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that the food hasn't been finished. The TV is on for the children, and when Wanda looks to her right, sees the bunny rabbit. She looks to her left, and there is a large fly on the wall. And she said, Agnes, where are the kids? And you see Agnes kind of stirring the tea saying, I think they're now playing in the basement. So Wanda makes her way to the basement. And this thing is like straight out of Stranger Things. There are tree roots bursting from this hallway. it's in a it's the trope that's called impossible space. It's kind of like if you watch Doctor Who, it's literally like Doctor Who. Like, how can all that fit in the TARDIS in this little box? This room is impossibly large, and it has these purple roots with these energy that's pulsing, and you get into this den with all this this archways up top, and just rolling through. There's a curio with various things, and we our focus is brought to this table with a tome on it. Not just a book, it's a tome, and the tome is glowing this yellowish orange. It actually reminds me a lot of Doctor Strange with the glowing that was coming from Dormammu and Caecilius, the ones that were working for Dormammu. So, and when Agnes appears with the bunny in tow and says, "Wanda, you didn't think that you were the only magical gal in town," you know, does this with her hand. Purple energy closes the door behind Wanda, and Agnes gets her own theme song. It's called Agnes All Alone. This song was way too catchy for its own good. You want to hate her, but that song was really good. And it shows her showing up in her original witch-like outfit. She reveals herself as Agatha Harkness. We've been saying that's who she was from the beginning, so no surprise there. Reveals herself in an original witchy outfit. She makes everything go black and white. She meets him there. She is the reason from with the magic show causing that ruckus. She'd been pushing Wanda to have children. If I remember me telling you that in the very early reviews of this, she even made Pietro appear while she's sitting on the lawn having a drink of wine under the moonlight. She has been doing everything. She's been pulling all the strings. Even the song says it's too late for you to fix anything now. And the very last line she gives is, "And I killed Sparky too." and a cackle. She did cackle. Just for it to the cliffhangers in the show are amazing. And that ended perfectly on 30. And I was getting ready to wrap up my notes when we get an after credit scene where Monica is finally at Agnes's house looking around, and she opens up the cellar. And I didn't notice it at first, but her eyes turn purple, which means that either she can now see within that realm or she has been influenced, because Agnes did do a little flippity dip of the hand, which made Wanda's eyes go purple for her to see the whole Agnes was behind it all. So who knows? Maybe now Monica is hypnotized, or maybe Monica can actually see it. But before before she can even move further, we get Pietro, Evan Peters Pietro, going, "Snoopers are gonna snoop," and she looks surprised, and that's where we have our ending. Holy crap, guys! Snoopers gonna snoop. Uh, yeah, stuff has hit the fan. So there was a false lead saying that these last episodes, because there's 2 episodes left after this, and apparently they said the last 3 are going to be hour long. That's false. And the thing that occurred to me is that these shows are actually, they start off 24 minutes because that's how long TV shows were back in the day. And now they are between 30 to 34 minutes because that's how long television shows are. And technically, this is how long they are with commercials. They fit into a 30-minute time slot. So that is the theming of this entire series. But they not only have they stuck to the theming, they do have other things outside of it. And this is just fantastic. I don't even know where to begin with theories, because at first with Agnes even showed Agnes with Agatha actually showed that she was pretending to act for Vision to trick him as well, which, I mean, just what a bee. She's been pulling all strings. I'm pretty sure she orchestrated this for Vision to be separated from her, because she doesn't she doesn't want Vision. Remember, one of the commercials said, "You need to eat your magic." She wants to eat Wanda's magic. It even looks like one of the cabinets is glowing red, because Wanda's magic is red, her son's magic is blue. Uh, Monica's, eyes and her energy have a blue pulse to it, which is very accurate to the comics. All this is, and Agatha Harkness's abilities are purple. So when you see that red, that I'm pretty sure she has been snacking on Wanda's magic and holding it in there, unless the boys are in there. And that is the thing with the missing children on the carton. Early on, Vision said, why are there no children? Now, some people say, witches don't like children. Shut up. In a lot of folklore, witches eat children. Yes, I'm pretty sure Agnes wanted to have children. If she's not in league with Mephisto, I'm pretty sure, or Nightmare, because she's the big baddie. She probably wanted her to make them because they would probably have pure concentrated magic. Technically, only Billy does. Tommy is a speedster. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that the rabbit's not just her familiar. Rabbit could also actually be Ralph. It could actually be that's her actual husband, unless Pietro is technically her husband, or he can be her son, Nicholas Scratch. Which I wouldn't be surprised if this is just what he looks like, and she just magicked him to have the hair. I don't think it's a being that she created. I think it's actually a being that was already there, or it could also be another familiar. He could actually be Ralph that she just magicked to turn into that. Who knows? She also stirred the discontent with Herb. That was her doing. She has been sowing the seeds of doubt within Vision, which are warranted. Wanda has some kind of control over this, but Agnes, one of the sources that I watched said that apparently the hexagons are involved with Agatha Harkness. So I haven't been able to find that, but that's more than likely true. I don't know where they're going to go from this. It's spoiler. Word is that the next episode is going to do Agatha's background. What happened to her, what led her there. There's also a rumor. People believe that Jimmy Woo's contact is Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2 and from the Return of the King. The Return of the King short with Kingsley, where we see he's in the same jail as Justin Hammer. Don't know how much of that is true. According to Paul Bettany, the special guest character still has not shown up. If Doctor Strange shows up in the very last episode of this, I would not be surprised. Hell, if Magneto showed up, that would be something interesting. And I wonder who Magneto would be. Yeah, but this show is more on the magical side. I'm pretty sure we will get more mutant stuff somewhere down the line. I'm hoping soon, but who knows? This review is actually shorter than what I thought it would be. Is there anything that I missed out on? Uh, just glad. I'm glad this show served as a origin story for Monica Rambeau. Literally one of my favorite characters in the comic books, and very influential black female character. Not just a captain in this universe, captain in the comic books as well. Very influential part of the Ultimates team, the Avengers. When she served as being Captain Marvel, when Carol well, not when the original Captain Marvel, because Carol was Miss Marvel for a very long time. They just different era, different age. They didn't want to do that with the MCU. Great episode as always. I'm looking forward to next Friday. So, tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy this episode? Where do you think things are going? I mean, we all knew Agnes was Agatha Harkness, but I didn't think that she would actually be the villain after that after what she pulled last episode with Vision. Wow, she got us good. So good on you, Marvel. Made a good villain. Let's see if you kill her or not. And let's see how this explodes into Spider-Man. Because I'm Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. I cannot wait. I hope if those things aren't in theaters, I hope they are on Disney Plus soon. So once again, please hit the subscribe button so you can watch more videos like this. I do these every Friday for you guys. Notification bell so you can get notified of these videos. Please thumbs up, but leave a comment, share the video so others can see the great review I'm giving you. I know some of you guys don't like them being this long, but I'm telling you, I'm giving you as much information as I can. I'm being very, very thorough. As always, guys, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. Please remember to be good and be blessed and wash your hands, wear your mask. Black Lives Matter. Happy Black History Month. And I will definitely be seeing you next time. Just occurred to me, Vision knows he can't leave the Hex without actually dying because he doesn't exist. I wonder, this is crazy, but I wonder if at the end of Doctor Strange, Wanda pulls a Billy Piper from Doctor Who and doesn't stay in her original in that reality. I wonder if she goes to a different reality so she can be with Vision and be with her brother. This is gonna end some way with mutant with a House of M ending with no more mutants. This is gonna end somehow with things going crazy. I just don't know how, and that's the exciting part. Love it when they take source material and just completely and actually use it and change it in a great way. Good job, guys.